What's going on, everybody? My name is Raheem Watson, and welcome to our first episode of the Life of Young Funeral Professionals. I am the visionary behind this movement, and my goal for this was to just open up the eyes of our community to the young faces that are in the funeral industry. It is not often that us young folk are honored or even um, shined on about our works and stuff of that nature. So I want to welcome you. I'm excited for tonight. I'm excited for this movement. I truly am. I'm so grateful unto God because this is a vision that I believe He has released me to move forward with. So I just ask right now that you just take a moment, like, share, get this out there because there is someone who is young and someone who is looking, and I just want everyone to know we are live right now. Tonight, I have someone who is really dear to my heart in this industry. I call him the funeral guru. I call him the Duke of Funeral Service, a young gentleman who is extremely humble, who is extremely talented. He is a great young man, and that is the young man, no other than Mr. Kyle Stocks of the Stocks Funeral Home in Georgia. Let's welcome him to the stage. Let's welcome him, my brother. It is good to see you. I'm happy to have you on. This is just great, man. This is really just great. I'm so happy to have you.
Yes,
When I
sir.
thought of this, I was like, I gotta get Kyle on first. I don't care what nothing says. I gotta get my man's on first.
Yes, sir. No.
So I just, just a little tell me a little background on yourself. What firm you're with? Just give me a little background about yourself, and that's where we'll start from there.
Well, first off, my name is Kyle C. Stock. I am the third generation practitioners in my family. Um, started My granddad started a funeral home here in Atlanta back in the 1970s, and we are still here 50 some odd years later. I currently serve with them as well as another funeral home, Sylvan Funeral Home, here in the Atlanta area. Um, but just a young man that was trying to make it in funeral service. I graduated from Ben Jones in June of
That.
this year. Yes, sir. And currently trying to finish my apprenticeship and everything like that. So I greatly appreciate you for having me on tonight. And we're here to raise awareness in this industry.
No problem. So you were born, raised, and bred funeral life.
Pretty much, pretty much. I honestly, man, I started going on funerals when I was about 4 years old. Um,
Wow.
Uh, at that point, I was so intrigued with the antics of it, as I call it, the police escort, limos, the horses, the
Yeah.
sirens, the lights, all of that. And just as I grew a passion for it, to serve family at the end of the day. And that's the most important thing for me now.
And my pastor used the word pageantry. So you definitely have that. I'm telling them that heel toe you be doing. There was a video I saw. It was you and another gentleman. You were guys were walking out of casket. It was a gold
Yes,
casket. All this. I'm like, yo, these guys. I'm telling you. I mean, and it's just a face. You be like, it's just a face. So like, what? As we all know, like the funeral service, it's not your typical 9 to 5.
not at all.
Nah, it's a lifestyle, and it's a lifestyle that people really don't understand, and especially as young people, you can't live the average young life
Exactly.
in funeral service. So, what would you say is something that keeps you going in this industry, or what kind of boosts your morale in this industry?
You know what, man? Honestly, um, trying to make sure at the end of the day when we get to the cemetery, regardless if we're going back to a repast or whatever it may be, hearing "I greatly appreciate you" from a family.
Mm.
Everything was above my expectation. everything was what I expected. I expected it to be something bad. I expected it to be something that it wasn't. So I greatly appreciate you for being able to help me and help me through it and help me get through this process. For it's never an easy process as we're going through. So that's my number one thing, that truly just keeps going in this industry. Um, Other than that, um, on the outside of it, man, it's pretty different because I eat, sleep it, everything is within it, man. So
That's, and I tell you, and one thing I can say is when those who work funeral life, um, that feeling that you get when you order that casket, when you prepare loved one, when you put all these puzzle pieces together, and
right,
that feeling you feel when the family is completely satisfied, I'm telling you, it pushes you to do it again, you know.
it
And
pushes every single day.
exactly, and those who are on that front row, it's different when we're not on the front row.
Right,
Makes
right.
us appreciate because at some point in time we are going to be the ones on the front row, you know, and it make especially when you're on that front row, it puts you to a place where you appreciate the service you give, you
Exactly.
appreciate it, and I'm telling you, it's just that feeling. I really can't explain the feeling that you get on the inside,
You
but
can't.
it's that feeling that you get, and it's a great feeling. And I'm just so like, and to think, which do you ever think of doing something else besides funeral service, or you're just set because you're born, bred, and fed funeral life?
Honestly, man, my dad, he's a police officer as well, and like I said, he's still the second generation of practitioners in my family. But the only other thing that I would do is something in the investigations part of the death care industry.
Oh, okay,
There'll be something in death care. I would never think I would ever get out of death care
right.
because, like I said, at the end of the day, it's a feeling that you get, and it has a hold on.
Hold on.
Yes, yes,
So, you know, one thing I always think about is the balance between the professional life and your personal life. You know, it can be hard, and you know, kudos to graduating mortuary school.
thank
Um,
you, thank you.
but it was hard. I know it was hard to be a full-time funeral home employee, family bred,
Yes,
full-time mortuary school student, probably on campus, and even
well,
just being a young, because you're only 20, so at that time a teenager. You know,
exactly,
like
exactly.
so. Touch on some of the hardships that you had, or how you had to learn how to balance your professional life and your personal life, because even outside of all of those things that you have accomplished, they no longer just see Kyle. They see Kyle of Stocks Funeral Home. Like you are no longer yourself. No matter who you are, or what firm you work with, you are no longer yourself. You hold such a higher standard, or a lot that you're carrying with you. So, talk about some of the hardships or the challenges that you had to learn about your life balance.
Balancing is I will say that when I come into work in the morning, I come in. My most important thing is let me do what I have to do first. Let me prioritize. It's about prioritizing. Um, when I prioritize, I do what I definitely need to do first, and then from there, I just kind of try to fill it out. Let me fill the rest of the day. When I was in school, what I would do, I would try to if it was a pretty slow day, service it can go high and low. If it was a pretty slow day, I would try to get homework done. But then after 5, I would try to cut everything. I would try to cut everything off, because at this point, this is my time to go home. Let me find a movie to watch. Let me do something. Let me go sit down and eat. Let me debrief from the day. It's hard to cut it off because at the end of the day, if you give a family your cell phone number, they're still calling you at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. But you have to know how to cut it off. You have to be able to, on the weekends, if you have a service at 11 o'clock, when you get done with that service, go take that suit off. Let's go find something to do. Let's go find something to get your mind off it before you have to get back to it Monday morning. On Sunday, let's go to church. After that, we're going to find something else to do to keep our mind off of what we have coming the next day. Because that Monday, you never know what you're going to walk into. You may walk into 10 bodies.
Yes.
And you never know. Right. You never know. So it's all about prioritizing. If you prioritize what you're trying to do and what your goals and what you need to do, everything will go smoothly.
That is true. That is really true. Even when it comes to, I know you have a young lady, you know.
Yes.
It's even more so that you have to understand just so you start to give that attention, you know.
Exactly. And that's something that we talk about all the time, actually. Prioritizing on how not to get service caught up in what we have going on.
Yes.
It's hard. And we talk about it. We talk about a work-life balance. I promise you, twice a week, because it's so important. Because at the end of the day, you come home, you may be stressed. Got to get that off of you. You have to get that off of you. But like I said, my outlets are go find a movie to watch, or let's go to the movies, or let's sit down and eat. Let's go sit down and talk about what our life goals are in the future.
Whoa.
Man. So it's, and another thing I like to do, I haven't done it in a minute, but I love motorcycles. I love riding. So
Lord mercy. Yeah. I'm not driving nothing. I've got 4 wheels and a barrier. Listen, you might get me on a scooter, but you won't get me on a motor. No, it won't happen.
That's right.
So you mentioned goals. I mean, goals are really important. So touch on before we go into goals. Other than your family, I know you have big shoes to fill. But who are some of the pioneers that you look up to, or someone who has inspired you? I know I have some, and I know there are plenty all over the country who set a high standard for funeral service, and that could also be a challenge too, kind of like bringing a new way to tradition. But that's neither here nor there. But tell me some of those pioneers that you look up to, or who inspired you.
Honestly, it's so many that I can name, and I don't want to miss anybody. But a couple people that I definitely have to give great kudos to. First of all, my granddad. Watching him as a business owner. My grandmother, who passed in 2010, how she also came along and assisted and made sure everything ran smoothly. After she passed, once my dad kind of came into the industry, into the funeral home, because he was already in it. My dad, a lot of the dressing and casketing skills that I have now, came from as a little boy watching him go in an embalming room or go in a dressing room.
That's
Exactly. Watching him was being somebody from terrible to watching a family come in and like I didn't think it would be done. I didn't think it could be done.
Wow.
Yes, yes. Like I said, so many to name, so many um, older gentlemen that has definitely poured into me. Um, just to name a few, Cornelius Purvis, he was our funeral director after my grandmother passed. He served as funeral director at Stocks for numerous amount of years, even before she passed. Um, Kevin Evan, who served as my preceptor now um, for my apprenticeship, I have kudos to him. Great thanks to him. Sherman McMiller, he has given me so many tips and so many tools to perfect my craft. He was one of the ones that truly pushed me to um, he pushed me to get to where I am now, how we're speaking now.
Right.
Like I said, there's so many to name. Terry Turner, he has always kept me on the straight and narrow when it came down to funeral service. Let's
Yeah.
get out here. Let's serve these people the way that they're supposed to be served. So, just like I said, that's just a few to name.
Yeah.
So many that has really poured into me.
Yeah.
Those in particular, yeah.
And all of those little ingredients that they pour, man, all those little things, how you serve, how you stand, how you tailor the clothes, how you set features, all the little ingredients can definitely help you in the long run establish your own way. I think that's what really makes it really important to have those people that you look up to or inspire you, or mentor you, so to speak. It's really, really important. So I want to touch on some goals, not only just for you personally, but some goals. So we all want to see this industry succeed. This is to me personally, this is an industry that I don't think can be successful with AI.
Yeah, not at all.
There has to be a personal, me to you, emotion to emotion connection. So where do you see this industry, or where would you love to see this industry in the future with us young folks taking over? Because at the end of the day, our pioneers are retiring, or the
Absolutely.
call to serve is over. And so it's just really, where do you see it going?
You know what, man? And this is something that is truly important. It's a lot that I see with our generation that we have to get together. We have to get it together. We have to get back to giving service.
Ooh,
So
yes.
we have to get back to giving service. At the end of the day, and I'm gonna say this, at the end of the day, it's not all about putting on a suit. It's not all about putting on a tie. It's not all about shining your shoes. Sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do to get to where you are now.
Yes.
So what I want to see and what I really want to see is the way that the old time funeral directors give service. I want to see that more as we grow in the industry. Of course, there's going to be things where we can't necessarily get back to because generations have changed.
Yes.
I definitely want to see us get back to giving service. We have to make that one of our main goals, one of our main objectives. Let's get back to giving that same professional service my granddad and dad used to give when they were our age. Let's get back to giving service. That's one of my main things. Um, let's get back to let what am I trying to say? Um, let's just get back to what we used to do.
Get back to the
Not
basics.
exactly. I think that everything was about a show. Sometimes we might have to get out there on a busy Saturday morning. Let's get these hearses clean. Let's get these limos clean. Let's get these cars lined up. Let's make sure that these bodies are straight before they actually go out.
Yes, because you
That's
can't fix service. I'll tell you that.
listen. Let's give
Yeah,
the
and
best that we can
my
give.
firm I'm with now, the owner of the firm, one thing he told me, I started. This is one of my. This is the firm that I originally started out with. Ag industry. I'm kind of veered off. I came to Georgia and all this, but I'm home. So
Right.
one thing he said. Apologize for the technical difficulty, but I was saying the owner of my firm. One thing he always said was, the moment you look at this industry as a dollar, you lost your purpose. The purpose of this industry is to serve. Sometimes we have to go the extra mile without compensation, or sometimes the money's not even there, but the family recognizes the service you give. He's big on, if you can make an arrangement at the house, go. Go visit that family. Even after the funeral's over, call them, send them something, go check on them. It's really big on stuff like that. Around his time, that's what his firm was known for, and that's how they got so big. So I do agree with you that we as young people have to get back to the basics. My apostle, he's going to be watching, so he's going to agree. It's time to get back to the basics, and that's so key that you said that. So when it comes to yourself, where do you see yourself going? I know, you're working on getting that license. Okay. So where do you see yourself going, or where do you see yourself? Where's something else that you want to accomplish out of this?
Like you said, most important thing right now, let's get these national boards done. Let's pass these national boards. Let's get these licensed, not only in Georgia, but I want to strive for more surrounding states. Something else that has always been a desire and dream of mine is to possibly open another firm, not just here in Atlanta, but from where my grandmother's from, on my mother's side, Johns Island, South Carolina. That's something that I've always wanted to do, or possibly gonna do at some point in time. But those are my two main goals. Let's get these licensed, and let's work on this business plan so we can succeed and strive for much more than just being me and having a license and not doing nothing with it.
Yes. I tell you, that down south funeral life, I tell you, that thing is totally different. It's really different, especially for like living up north. I'm in Delaware, so when I went to Georgia and just seeing the level of service in that country style, it's really something different. And I really want to say thank you for, because you actually hit home for me a couple times. I ain't gonna say nothing.
What?
Hit home for me a couple times, and that's what it's all about. And strengthening each other as young folk. And so one thing I want you to do at this point in time, I want you to take the opportunity to encourage someone who's watching. Encourage them, because someone on this live stream is thinking, is funeral service really for me? Someone on this live stream is thinking, how can I do that? What is so I want you to encourage us, this next generation, about funeral service and how to move forward, because it matters. It really does matter. Service matters, and the community needs us. It really needs us, because at the end of the day, we are the next. So I want you just to take some time and encourage someone.
Absolutely. So one thing that I do want to say, man, is so much that I can say to the younger generation. Go for it. the only person or the only thing that can hold you back is yourself. If you have a desire to do something, if you have a desire to be somebody, go for it. One thing that I will say is it's important to try to fulfill your dreams to the best of your ability. And that's something that I'm working on for myself. For those of you that want to get in the film industry, don't get it for the dollar. Don't get in it for the dollar. Get in it for the purpose of serving a family at the end of the day. Some of the things that we grew up doing, me and Raheem, I can truly say that it took us a while to get to where we are now. We truly have to give service. So if you plan on getting back in or getting in the film industry, get in it for the right purpose. Like I said, some days you might have to get out on a Saturday morning and wash your car. Don't think that it's always going to be, I'm going to come in with my suit and my tie on, and it's going to be a very smooth day. We have to give that service to that family. So the most encouragement and the most tips that I can give to the younger generation, let's get in it. Let's get in it for the right purpose. Let's give service to this family. But I truly encourage you that if this is something that you have contemplated on, go for it. Don't allow anybody or don't allow yourself to hold you back. I can truly say that we lack funeral directors and embalmers, and get in it, do it, go for it. But when you go for it, reach your full potential and try to reach your full potential. It is very important. So, like I said, get in it, do it for the right purpose, and I promise you, you'll go a long way, a very long way, in what you want to do in funeral service.
Listen, my brother, I thank you so much, not just for being on today, but just for all that you do. You're younger than me, but you are someone that I watch, and you know how I feel about you. You are someone that I watch, and I truly thank you for your level of service. I thank you for the sacrifice that you've made to this industry. I thank you for having the opportunity to share your story. It is really imperative to me for this next generation to be heard, to be seen, because sometimes we get lost in being in the background. Sometimes we just get lost in the long days, the early mornings, the late nights, and it can sometimes question it. It is what I want to do. But you stay committed and you are achieving goals. And I'm so happy for you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Before I meant it, I love you. And there's nothing you can do about it. I do want to thank everybody for watching today. Please, again, like, share, follow my brother. I'm going to give him the opportunity to share his social media platforms. Follow him, follow his journey. It is really, really needed in this season. I thank you all for supporting this movement. I love you all. And so, Kyle, you just go ahead and share your social media platforms, and this concludes our first episode. Man, you know you on the first episode, and that's man, how you got a special place in my heart. You on the first episode.
Absolutely. Well, first off, let me give thanks to you, to the visionary himself, Raheem. I truly thank you for allowing me to share my story and be able to give some type of enlightenment to the younger generation that's coming up. Social medias, my Instagram @_.IamStocks, Facebook, page Chandler Stock. And if anybody has any questions anything that you want to add, how to go about doing things in the industry, or anything that you may have a question about, feel free to reach out to me, or reach out to Raheem if you want to speak to me. He'll definitely get you to me. Again, my brother, I thank you for allowing me to do this and be a part of this.
Of course, of course. Thank you guys so very much. Thank you. And we will see you next week right back here on the Life of the Young Female Professionals.